We're home, and it's snowing. We got a story to tell y'all. We're off to Chattanooga.
Here we go.
Snow, rain, or tornado. I don't know. One of the three is going to happen, but we're headed there. We have made it to Chattanooga at the Chattanoogan for her cheerleading. So we are here, and it's supposed to be all weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
What I'm eating.
She's eating Fruity Pebbles.
From home.
From home, that's right. We brought the pantry with us. But we're supposed to be here Saturday and Sunday, or go back Sunday night. But apparently we're supposed to be getting some pretty intense weather down here and in our area, so we'll see how that goes. Either way, we do have competition Saturday. But it's Friday right now, and we're unpacking and probably going to have a little fun, huh, babe?
Yep. One small problem. There's no microwave. But
Another
it said that
reason
it came with the room, so I'm going to ask them if they have an extra. If not, hopefully we've got like a community microwave on the floor somewhere.
You know what? I bet we do.
Really counting on the microwave.
Right. The leftovers are in the mini fridge, but we need that microwave to warm them up. If not, it'd still be fine cold. Just not.
Or we can, I'm sure there's one. We just got to find it.
Yeah. Has some Fruity Pebbles.
Great.
We're home, and it's snowing. We got a story to tell y'all. All right, it is the next morning, and it's still snowing. Let's go do some chores. Dolly. Hey everybody, in the barn's nice and warm and dry. I always love seeing this barn just completely dry. Hay, feed, zero snow. But then you look outside and it's just a winter wonderland. It's pretty awesome. Something out of a picture. All right, chores are done. It's a winter wonderland out there, and it is crazy cold. It is, whew, I'm ready for spring. And speaking of spring, we have baby plants. All right, so if you remember correctly, we had them underneath this grow light. However, like my shelving, it's not far enough space, so this is great how it allows you to take it up and down, but it was too low. So what I'm doing is we actually moved them up here to these lights because I can get them lower a little bit easier while they're still little baby plants. And then as they get bigger, we'll move them down to this rack to work with this one a little bit more appropriately. Turn the light off so y'all can see a little bit, but everything is germinated. We basically have a 100% germination rate out of everything that we planted. Everything took less than a week to come up, which was awesome. The only thing that's still pending is our lettuces, which they take longer as it is, but as you can tell, we do have germination. They're just a little bit behind some of the other little ones that are in here. But yeah, it's so nice to see green and life, even though outside is completely covered with snow. I'm back to being pink because I turned the light back on. So now what we'll do, like I said, I still gotta get those fans. I'm ordering on Amazon and get that good stuff to give them a little bit more strength. But they're fine right now. I do still have them on the heating mats because we do have some that still need to be germinated. Once everything's germinated, you don't necessarily have to have those heating mats anymore. Your lights will work because it's primarily just for the germination piece, keeping your soil temp up. But then you can remove them if you don't want to use them anymore because you don't have to have that. But they'll just hang out. They'll keep hanging out for a little bit. They'll get pretty good size, which we'll walk you through that process if you've never done it before. And we'll show you once it's time to transplant them outside into this snowy covered mess.
So we ended up finding a microwave.
Yeah.
We are home now. Our room did not have one, but our floor had one, and it was like 2 doors down, so it wasn't a big deal. We used it. We ate some of our food. It was great. We brought some home, and we're almost done with it now. In other news,
didn't work, though.
The ice machine did not work. That's okay, though. We took our own water. In other news, our trip did not exactly go how it was planned to go.
Right.
When we left, we knew that there was a chance for this huge snowstorm to come, but the weathermen were saying, well, we're not really going to know until 24 hours before. We were already going to be in Chattanooga, so we just went knowing that there was going to be the option that potentially we might be coming home early or that we might stick it out, and we packed like tons of blankets, tons of jackets, coats, hats, gloves, all that stuff.
Emergency kit.
You know, emergency stuff, just in case anything was to happen and we were to get stuck. So they ended up forecasting that it was in fact going to come, not in Chattanooga. They just got rain, maybe a little bit of snow, but not much. But it was coming to our area, and it was quite a big amount that they were forecasting. So our gym ended up pulling out of day 2 of competition, which was fine, but we had already paid, so we went ahead and stayed that night too. So we did stay 2 nights. And early Sunday morning, about 4 a.m., I woke up, checked the weather, had a bad feeling, woke up everyone else, and said, we should probably go home.
Yeah, so we had the option to leave Saturday night. But because Raylan didn't compete till like 6, and we're getting older and driving at nighttime isn't the greatest thing for us anymore. It's just headlights and stuff. It's really bright. Plus, complete side note of like farming and homesteading, I am still a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Like, it's the one thing that like of normal world life stuff that I just like, hold on to just the opportunity. Well, it's been 31 years since we won a playoff game. We won Saturday night. Fine. So I was able to get the game in, and we still ended up driving in the night because we left at 4 a.m. But ultimately, that was the right choice.
It was.
Because when we got here, just about 20 minutes from our home, the road started to get pretty slushy.
A little bit slushy, not too bad. But then everything stopped, and it just rained for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And we were like, what the heck? Like, we rushed for nothing.
Right.
Although we're glad that we did. And then when the afternoon came, it came.
Bottom dropped out.
Yeah.
So before she gets into the next thing, we ended up getting about 5 to... It's really hard to guess because we had so much slush underneath the snow.
Yeah.
It took some of the totals down because it melted a little bit when it got there. But that caused havoc on everything. Trees, electrical lines, stuff like that, because it was that real heavy stuff that's just laying on everything. But I think total, I would probably give us about 5-6 inches.
Yeah, I'd say in the deeper parts, there's about 8.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Would you say it's as much as last time?
It's totally different snow.
Right.
Last time was that light, fluffy stuff, like no moisture to it. You could barely even make snowball out of it. But it was fun to play in. This is wet.
It's our third snow this season, but our second big snow, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a whiteout. It's very pretty. Obviously, tomorrow it's going to be like 45 degrees, and so it's going to be a muddy mess, which is just, we call ourselves mud farmers in the winter, which I'm sure a lot of you all can relate to. But it is a lot of fun. It's extra cold, so I'm not sure if we're going to get out and play in it today like we did the last time it snowed. We don't want anybody getting sick. You can only risk it so much out there in the snow.
So with all the chaos that did happen, having to come home a little bit early, her not getting to compete the second day, we still had a really good time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you have 2-day competitions, and y'all probably don't care about this, but it's my new life, so I'm sharing. This is a new adventure for all of us with this cheerleading competition stuff. When you don't get to compete for the 2 days, you don't get to improve your score from the first day. So they took their score as what it was. Wasn't their best time, but they all did awesome. She did awesome, and we had a lot of fun. We stayed at the Chattanooga. I don't know if we said that.
No, we didn't.
Downtown, and it was, I think, one of my favorite hotels we've ever stayed at.
It was a really nice hotel.
Yeah,
really cool.
And it was just a really good atmosphere. The lobby was completely open. You could hang out. Like, we stayed down there every night. We played Uno with the kids, and we would order, food or whatever we wanted to, and then we could go outside and sit by the fireplace. So that was a lot of fun, and overall it was a very good weekend.
Because here's the thing, this farming homesteading life can be a little lonely,
yes.
Right? Most of us are in smaller towns. Most of us are out on the outskirts of town and usually by ourselves. Of course, we have all this virtually, YouTube, and that's fantastic. But sometimes you just like to see life being lived. Yeah. And so what she's kind of getting at is most hotels, sometimes when you're like down in the lobby, it's a little awkward. Like it's you're right in front of the front desk, and it's like you don't know if they want people down there or don't want people down there, and so then no one's down there. This one was a lot different. It was very social, and so we was able to sit back, like she said, play and watch people live life, and that was kind of fun to have every once in a while.
Yep.
So, crazy weekend, fun weekend, crazy weekend is now over, and it's back to reality and back to the pantry challenge.
And for anyone wondering, the food that we made served us very well.
It was so good.
It was really good.
I mean, that was really good stuff.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see that in the fridge.
We never did end up finding sauces. I couldn't find any to take. I tried, but there were none. So it was okay, though. Still good.
Yeah, it was still very good. And so now this week, of course, we are going to be babying our little baby plants and having that going. We've got a lot of stuff to do, as always, on the farm. Hopefully we can get down to the shop and start working on it a little bit more. We do have the insulation. I just need to start getting it up there. But pantry challenge, how are we looking? What are we looking like?
We're looking, well, okay, the pantry is not bare, so I'll not say that. However, the fridge is getting bare, but y'all saw that. There's not really much that's changed since then. Mm-hmm. So we're just back at it, and we're gonna keep adjusting and keep eating what we have. We had some more of the oatmeal baked for breakfast. Mm-hmm. Lunch was kind of a grab which can leftover kind of thing, and dinner is probably gonna be spaghetti, which is our turkey that we butchered and canned, and some spaghetti sauce that we grew and canned, and noodles that we got from the store. Who knows how long ago, but they're still in the pantry.
But we have absolutely loved all of your all's ideas. Don't stop. Keep shooting them down there on the stuff that you see and things that you might make, because that's been the most fun of this. And I did want to reiterate, because I think we've picked up a few people throughout this pantry challenge. We mentioned at the beginning, this is not go blow out your pantry. Don't go empty all your food that you have set back whatsoever. We have what we call like 3 pantries, which really is just groupings of food that we know. We have we need to eat because we canned this a long time ago, and it's time to move it through because it might go bad if we don't. Then we have long-term storage, which is the stuff that we've recently canned, things that are just, they have a good long shelf life that's lasting there, dried goods. And then we have an emergency pantry, like if stuff really was to hit the fan kind of thing. That is a lot of freeze-dried stuff, a lot of things in huge 5-gallon buckets,
which we're not touching.
Right. So I did want to reiterate, we're not saying go empty out your pantry. We're saying eat the stuff that needs to be eaten so you don't have to throw it out. So just wanted to update that for the ones that weren't sure. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fun, long week of a lot of stuff that's going out. We'll be teaching you all kinds of things as we go. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you down below.
We love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.